Now bless the said family as they go through a whole new chapter in their lives, and continue to remember that all we do today is all for you. In the Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yep. Okay, do we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Karen Beckle. Here. Mary Frost. Here. Lynn Garrett. Here. Ed Wakefield.
Here.
Treasurer McDonald.
Yes.
So,
Bennett, President. Supervisor Pearson.
Here, all accounted for, everybody's healthy this week. Announcements, reports, as usual, they're available in my office. Just contact me or my deputy, and we'll get those for you. Any petitions? No petitions? Okay, let's go on to approval of the agenda.
Yes, could you please add as number 9, the 2025 gravel road program, and that's due for time constraints.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
support.
okay, we have a motion and we have support to add number 9. Any comments? No comments, roll call, please.
Yes. Ed Wakefield.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Karen Beckle.
Yes.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay, move on to consent agenda.
Yes, we have another quick one. Approval of the January 21st, 2025 minutes, and also the approval of the January 2025 invoices.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the January 2021 minutes and approval of the January 2025 invoices, a total of $4,62894.14.
I'll second.
And we have support from the treasurer. Any comments on this? Not hearing any, Greg, roll call, please.
Karen Beckle.
Yes.
Mary Frost. Yes. Ed Wakefield.
Yes.
Linda Garrett. Yes. Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay, we'll move on to the part where I have to do all the talking here. Public hearing and resolutions for the Special Assessment District. We'll start with number 1, which is the Special Assessment District for H. Eddy Drive. This is the public hearing for the Special Assessment District. This is the second and final resolution for each of these SADs, H. Eddy Drive. The Township Board received petitions signed by more than 50% of the record holders based on the tax rule in the local county constituting more than 50% of the total frontage on the proposed SAD, requesting the amount of $360 per parcel for each of the next 5 years to cover snow removal, plowing, grading, chloride, and right-of-way brush removal on H. Eddy Drive, and a 5% collection fee for the township. Proper notice of the hearing has been published in the Oxford Leader and mailed by first-class mail to each of the property owners within the proposed SAD. The Office of Supervisor verified and determined the petitions for H. Eddy Drive were properly signed by the record owners of 10 parcels with 9 of 16 signatures, or 81.3% attached to the petition for the board. I'll open the public hearing. We'll call it at 6:04. At this time, this is where we listen. If anybody has anything to say about the H. Eddy Drive SAD, please come forward. I'll say it one more time. Anybody for the H. Eddy Drive? Not hearing any. I'd like to close the meeting then at about 6:05. I'm looking for a motion then.
I'll move the resolution authorizing the SAD for H. Eddy Drive, the private road in Addison Township.
I second it.
Any comments from the board? Not hearing any. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Ed Wakefield.
Yes.
Lynn Garrett.
Yes.
Karen Beckle.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and the resolution is so moved. Okay, we're going to the next one. A resolution authorizing an SAD for Ridgemont. Township Board received petition signed by more than 50% of the record owners based on tax rules in Oakland County constituting more than 50% of the total frontage of the proposed SAD, requesting the amount of $220 per parcel for each of the next 5 years for snow plowing, removal, grading, chloride, right-of-way brush removal on Ridgemont, and a 5% collection fee for the township. Proper notice of the hearing has been published in the Oxford Leader and mailed by first-class mail to each of the property owners within the proposed SAD. The Office of Supervisor verified and determined that the petition for the Ridgemont SAD was properly signed by the record owners of 26 parcels with 27 of 42 signatures, or 64.3%, and the petitions are for the board to look at. I will open the public hearing. We'll call this one at 6. We'll open this one at 6:05. If anybody would like to speak on the SAD for Ridgemont, please come forward and tell us. If you have anything you'd like to add, anything on the Ridgemont SAD? I'm not hearing any. I'd like to close that meeting, then we'll call it at 6:06. A motion?
I'll make the motion to authorize the SAD for Ridgemont Road.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and we have a second. We have a roll call, please.
Karen Beckle,
Yes.
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Ed Rico,
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, that resolution is so moved. Now we'll go on to the last one, is the resolution authorizing a special assessment district known as Lighting District Number 1. The Township Board received petitions signed by more than 50% of the record owners, constituting more than 50% of the total land area of proposed special assessment district. We're requesting the amount of $80 per parcel for each of the next 5 years to cover the cost of the existing streetlights and a 10% collection fee for the township. Proper notice of the hearing has been published and mailed by first-class mail to each of the property owners within the proposed special assessment district, whereas the Township Board does hereby determine that the petition for Lighting District Land Number 1 area special assessment was properly signed by the record owners of 24 parcels with 16 of the 30 signatures, or 53.3%, attached as the petitions for the board to look at. I will open this hearing at, we'll call this one at 6:07. This is where we listen. If anybody would like to speak on behalf of the Lighting District, go right ahead.
I am in favor of the lighting district because the streets are very dark in our neighborhood, and Bruce was saying that the LED lights are coming in, and they have been put in several lights that I've noticed, so it's much nicer, and I'm hoping there's a discount on that price for the landowners. And I just feel a lot safer coming into my home when I have a light there, and our Mill Mine Street goes right down into the swamp, and during the last few snowstorms, that light was essential for people being picked up from that area that had gone off the road. So I mean, I just think it's a great idea to have that neighborhood lit. And like I told you before, the other part of Mill Mine, on the other side, is you couldn't see your hand. I mean, you right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we agree. We definitely do agree, and I hope that the LEDs, when they get them all done, I believe it should, it should drop it by, I think it only costs about a third of the price to run the LEDs versus.
Yeah, they're very nice.
So it should come, hopefully at least hold the price to where it is now.
Yeah, I think I submitted a request for the shield. It is really bright.
Yeah, they
You
are
could read
very
that book on my
bright.
porch, you know, but if it faces the road, it would be nice.
Well, thank you. Anybody else would like to speak on that? Not hearing any? I know I'm not supposed to talk of that, but,
Cut that.
anyways, but for Mrs. Fritz, you have to talk, okay. So anyways, at 6:09, we'll close the hearing. Could we have a motion, please?
I have a resolution for the special assessment district, known as District 1.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Any further comments? Not hearing any, could we have roll call, please?
Karen Beckle, yes, Mary Frost,
Yes.
Ed Rico,
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that resolution is so moved. You're all set. Thank you. Oh, very nice. I can find what I did with the, there it is. We'll move on to item number 3, which is a resolution adopting the amendments to the Employee Manual, Chapter 4, and Fire Department Exhibit 1. A resolution adopting the amendments to the Employee Manual. This amendment addresses the new Sick Time Act and some of the township procedural changes. We received the amendments last month for review, and as I understand it, I guess the legislature is still not settled on this yet, and they're still hashing some of this out. But we do not have a time frame when they'll be done, but we must enact what is in effect and amend again after the state changes something. So anyways, what I'm looking for is a motion to move the resolution adopting the amendments anyways to the employee manual. And then we'll have to maybe bring this back if the legislature changes something, but at least we're prepared.
I'll move the resolution adopting the amendments to the Employee Manual, Chapter 4, and Fire Department Exhibit 1.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and we do have a second. Any discussions? Not hearing any, could I have a roll call on that, please?
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Karen Darrow.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay. That one. Resolution is adopted. Okay, now we're moving on to item number 4, resolution for authorization to purchase property from the township library known as parcel number 0527256009 and parcel B of 0527254007. This has been a long time coming. The library requested minor changes in the agreement. Mr. Davis, the township attorney, reviewed the documents and that was submitted by the library and is okay with the agreement, but he did ask for additional information prior to the signing the agreement. Library is working on those additional items. I think there were 3, and in the meantime, and in good faith, we should pass a resolution. That's what I'm looking for, is a motion to pass a resolution to purchase the
I've got a question. If we make a motion, do we add into the motion that it is contingent on the library approving or just turning it in?
Or for Mr. Davis to approve.
Okay,
It's contingent upon.
We know what those 3 are.
okay.
Like, are they
Yes, the
things,
3
or-
items are one that we are being held harmless, that's in the paperwork. here.
Oh, it's actually.
That we're being held harmless, and
And then there's 2
um,
and 3. Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
you see the 3 items? We're down to 3, there were a bunch more,
Yeah.
we're down to the last 3, and the library's working on that right now.
I'll go ahead and make that motion. And that we authorize the supervisor to execute the purchase agreement contingent on the following. A resolution from the library seller authorizing the sale of the property and representing that the sale of the property does not violate the gifting documents included in the donation agreement dated May the 5th, 2006, and agreeing to hold the township harmless on any claims relating to the gifting issues going forward. Number 2, an executed and notarized document from the current Shendon representative waiving and releasing all rights under donation agreement dated May the 5th, 2006, related to the purpose of the gift and expressly allowing the library to sell the gifted property to the township for $120,000 for a park and not library purposes going forward. The purpose going forward remains a public purpose. This document needs to be developed and put in place by the Shendon family using their own advisors and professionals. And finally, number 3, Township Legal Counsel shall review all documents prior to the execution of the documents and prior to the closing.
Support.
Ed, are we going to move the entire resolution? Because I think we need all of this.
Read the whole thing?
No, not read the whole thing, but could we move the entire resolution, not just
Yeah.
those 3?
Fine.
Thank you.
I support that.
Okay.
I move that the resolution for the authorization to purchase property from the Township Library known as 0527-256 and 009 and parcel B 0527-254-007. That includes all the stuff that's in there.
Well, thank you, Ed, 'cause
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad that you shortened that up, because this is a
Oh, no.
32-page document.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Supervisor, I think it's beholden to me to read the whole thing. So,
Okay, so we have a motion and we do have support. Is there any other comments from the board?
Just hurry it up.
No other comments? Do we have roll call, please?
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Karen Gardner.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Ed Wakefield.
yes,
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, that resolution is so moved. Okay, we'll move on to item number 5, resolution for credit card use and policy. Our existing policies seem to be outdated, and with the new policy, we have stronger internal controls and higher limits to allow for unnecessary purchases. In this day and age, the existing limits just weren't enough anymore with inflation, okay? So anyways, does anybody have any questions on the board on this?
What were the existing limits?
We were at one point at 3,000, okay? Now we're up to 10,000. And that supervisor used to be 5,000, but yet I was authorized to spend 10,000. But what the problem was, is that when we would go to a convention, or if we
where's Clark?
bought a lot of stamps, we would put it on a credit card. And then when we would go charge something for our training class or whatever, we were overextended, so we had to use private credit cards then to go to that. This way, the fire department will have 5,000, which is their limit, and the treasurer will have 10,000, and the supervisor will have 10,000, because everybody in the offices uses our credit card to buy all of the material for
Yeah,
the
trustees.
township. And this way, we have enough that we can pay for whatever training or whatever on top of it. So that was what the problem was. We had a couple times when we were denied, and it's embarrassing. Okay,
So would we need it for both the treasurer and the supervisor? I guess then,
yeah.
like, what would
Yes,
the,
go
like, what would the
ahead.
treasurer?
Generally, we buy all of our office supplies and purchases, even though in different accounts, like clerks, supervisors, treasurers. The previous limit was 6,000 for all cards. So this is a large departure from that, but it enables us to overlap in such a way that we won't have credit denials when we try to use the card.
Do we buy that much and
Yeah, mailings alone, when you put out the mailings now, what's it cost for a stamp?
70 cents?
70 cents, and you put out several thousand mailings out, it adds up like real quick.
Yeah.
you know?
I just want to say that in the past, the supervisor was approved for 10,000. So the only one that's really going up would be the treasurer, and usually the treasurer card, he does keep a close watch on it. The staff who has to order all of the supplies usually use the treasurer's card, so it would make sense to go ahead and boost him up as well. But that's the really only increases in the treasurer card.
So Bruce, you said the fire chief was 5, but this has 35.
Well, he's not allowed to spend any more without my approval anyhow, so it falls back on me, he has to come to me.
Right, but you said $5,000 and
Yeah.
it says the
It
limit
is
3,500.
35, the card is 3,500. That's the
Okay,
limit.
I just thought you said 5,000 when you were saying the amount.
That's what he's allowed to spend, I believe, but his car is only what, 3,500? Yeah. So everything he has to charge above a certain amount has to come to me anyhow.
Jerry's quite frugal, and he
Oh,
did
I'm
not
sure.
want a $5,000 card. He said, I only need 3,500, so that's what we gave him.
Everything else, he comes to me, and then we issue an actual check, put it on the card.
I've got a question on it. I can't see trustees anywhere on this list. Where is that card? And what's our limit? I guess Mike says.
Well, we'll have to investigate that.
Oh,
What are you
well,
buying? Because I don't need
That's right.
anything.
oh,
You'll have to come see the treasurer on that.
Door's always open.
Okay, anyways, okay, I'm looking for a motion.
I have
Everybody
one-
understand the, yes?
I have one, I think maybe clerical, but this fuel card for the fire department owned vehicles with a limit of 1,000, can we clarify that that's dollars?
That's dollars? Oh, yeah, yes, it is. It's $1,000. And that is a different card and restricted only to fire department use for fuels and oil for the trucks. And
Right.
that, again, that was, they currently have a card that's with the change in brand at the gas station, the Valero station. We can't use that former card there, so we're going through the process of getting a new card. Again, the chief only wants $1,000 on it. He says, I can't use that much fuel in a month, so that's what he wants.
As long as there's a dollar sign added, and it just be,
Yeah,
and you're looking for a motion, I'll make the motion for the resolution for credit card use policy this date.
I'll support.
okay, so we have a motion and we have support. Any further comments? Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Mary Cost,
Yes.
Edward Hill,
Yes.
Lynn Garden,
Yes,
Karen Donald,
Yes.
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, resolution is so moved. Move on to item number 6, resolution authorizing agreement for the remittance of tax collections in the school districts. This is an agreement that we've approved in the past, yet not collected recently. I think the last time we collected it was probably 2014. This allows the treasurer to collect from the school district for processing the tax collections. Mike checked with the neighboring townships, all the other townships, and it's a common practice. If you have any questions, I think this is one for Mike, but what it is when we send out all the tax bills, collect the taxes, process it, that's all part of the deputy treasurer and the treasurer's job, which takes up an awful lot of their time because we're collecting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different school districts, counting the intermediate.
Not including the
And-
transfer district.
And it takes a huge amount of their time, and the law does permit for this, and we should have been doing it. And we did contact the other townships, and they have been doing it, so we just want to help offset some of the cost of that. But anyways, Mike can answer any questions.
How much would the fee be? What kind of fees do they charge the?
There's the treasurers have some discretion, excuse me. But you either charge, often interest used to be acceptable. Like the money passes through our hands relatively fast. We collect for the schools and everybody, and then we distribute it within 2 weeks back to the county for final distribution. So it used to be, when the interest rates were high, there was a little bit more money available. But as far back as 2013, interest rates have been falling. They had gone up slightly, but since we hadn't been collecting any at all, none of the school districts complained. So all I'm proposing, and I'd appreciate the board's support, I didn't want to just go ahead and do this on my own authority, because I feel that this is something that the board should be aware of and involved in. And we can do interest and/or per parcel fee. For instance, Oxford Township is charging the major school districts $4 a parcel. They were at, I believe, $3 or $3.50 for the past 8 or 9 years. They are increasing it this year. In regards to the school districts, I've proposed slightly lower amounts, and I thought,
$3.
yeah, that last page, Karen, has the, my proposals, $3.50 a parcel, which in, let's say, our largest district is Oxford Schools. That would generate $8,274. But when you offset that with the fact that we pay the postage, we do the printing, et cetera, and basically our deputy clerk, our deputy treasurer spends 50% of her year doing processing tax payments. Between the assessing going out in February and then we start the July tax cycle. That runs through August, September, and then we start the December tax cycle in the current year and finish it in the next year. So we're devoting a lot of time and hours into doing that. Of course, it's a significant amount of money and we are by law required to do all of that. But the law also says that in the case of school districts, the treasurer shall negotiate with them. We can't tell them what we're going to charge them. They have to agree to it. If they don't want to agree, they can go outside and find another provider. But it very rarely happens because, as the supervisor said, these prices are in a range that's basically lower than what the other townships around us are charging. But I'm trying to make it a little easier for school districts and a little easier for us. Because they'll probably be shocked to hear from us asking.
Yeah, how's it gonna be easier for them?
Yeah.
Because now they're gonna give up this money.
But I would point out that it's, in light of, we collect millions for the school districts. It's not like we're just collecting a small amount of money. And for them to do it themselves they will learn quickly it's an expensive proposition.
Yeah, I was
But
questioning why we haven't done this before. So I think he's doing a really good job of.
It's slipped through the fingers.
Yeah, I think
And,
it's a really good thing
Well,
that we're
since you've
doing.
been collected for 10 years, I think, bottom line, you got 20,000, 32, I think you
Yeah.
collect 200,000.
you know,
Well,
Can't go back.
can't go back.
And this isn't gonna cause the schools to need another millage. This is an incidental cost for them.
Right.
It's just gonna vary by some degree in each district, and that's why we're not charging the same per parcel. We've tailored it to the quantity, how much work there is involved for each separate district.
When I saw this, I thought, oh, now I know how they do that, because I always wondered how, all that money that we spent,
Right.
time.
We spend the money on the paper,
Just the
the
time.
bookkeeping, the computers, the stamps, everything, and this is just making us whole. But we're still losing money on it, but we're just making
Yeah.
us whole. Did anybody have any other questions? Well, I'm looking for a motion.
I would make it, but I don't know how to make it. I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, yeah, move the resolution.
Maybe the treasurer would like to make it.
Yeah.
And I'll second.
I prefer not to, since I'm.
Well, I will make it.
Okay.
I very rarely make a motion, but I will make this. I move that we authorize the agreement for remittance of tax collection with the school district and authorize the treasurer to negotiate with the schools with the listed chart that he provided us for 2025.
Can we move the resolution so it's all covered?
Well, we just moved the resolution for the Addison Town Board, resolution for remittance of the tax collection with the school districts. How's that?
Well, it covers everything.
Well, I was just trying to help treasurer out.
I know.
Do you need somebody to second that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that then.
All it's doing is making us whole. I mean, we're still not whole, but it's, softening the blow a little bit because every
Because
other
this is something we
township
don't
has
do.
been,
It's not for the township's part, it's for the schools.
well, if they are allowed to, like you said, get their own provider and send out their own tax notices, but it costs them a heck of a lot more money than what it's costing for the townships to do it.
But when the township sends out, when you say it costs paper and stamps, aren't we also sending out for other things at the same time?
Yes, we are.
There's still bookkeeping. all that was.
It is set up this way by the state. So I'm suggesting we just follow the state law that says that school districts are obligated to work with us, so. to speak.
I understand the whole concept, I just think if we haven't collected since,
Why not?
why not? No, I'm going the other way, like,
But
why
we
not?
used to,
Like,
we used to.
Oh,
it's $20,000, we have so much money in the bank in township, it's like, I'd rather spend money in the school district. But,
We-
I mean, I understand, I'm just
I'm just saying, we used to though.
used to collect.
It used to be enough for, back some years ago, the interest of that much money, even though it's only in the account, we go from whatever amount to zero every 2 weeks. So it doesn't collect a lot of interest. I think it was $5,000 or $6,000 back when interest rates were much higher. So I think I projected, based on 25's numbers, that we'll see up to $6,500, which is half the cost of stamps. It's not gonna cover all, this isn't going to, we're not gonna make money on this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just a fair apportionment of the labor and costs it takes for us to do this. And yes, the county and the other, the Metro Art, the zoo, they all benefit from us collecting the taxes, and they're not obligated to do any negotiation or paying us for doing that. The law is set up this way, and that's all I'm bringing to the table. And that's why I wanted to involve the trustees, so that you know what's going on in our community and schools.
I have a quick question. Does this have to come back every year? Because it says
No.
2025 tax year?
That's my note. The law says in perpetuity unless the school district object to.
Is this part of the resolution?
They can change it. No, I think the resolution, yeah, it is part of it.
Not
Do
that-
we,
but-
do we need to change those words?
You
Something
can-
to the fact of maybe 2025 and
Yeah,
something that unless you need to change it, or how could we word that really quick?
Unless negotiated differently.
yeah, either party can reopen each school year, but you have to do it by a certain date in order so that.
But this is saying that these are only good for 1 year. I'm just trying to save your work next year.
Yeah.
Maybe we should add a couple words in there.
The law says in perpetuity or until either party wishes to reopen the negotiations.
Okay, so do you want to add that to the motion or not?
I'm fine with it, but I didn't make the motion.
Are you fine with it as is?
I'll add that on the motion. I made the motion. And you
I
seconded
second
it.
that, yeah,
Yep.
that's fine. So we don't have to do it year by year by year.
Okay, any other discussion on it? Not hearing any? Roll call, please.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Ed Brightfield,
Yes.
Mary Cost,
Yes.
Karen Guyval,
No,
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, resolution so moved. Okay. Number 7, budget review. Well, this is the final review for the budget. The budget includes some changes since last time out, mainly for the library and the fire department. These changes are highlighted so you can read them. Anyways, going through this, a lot of it is money that is going out, but it's money that is for the loaning to the fire department and different things like that, but it's money that's coming back, so it's not money that is just spent and gone, it's money that we
I do
will
have
retrieve.
one question, page 2 at the bottom where it says community projects. What is that?
So at the very last page, you should have a list of your projects.
Oh,
So it was increased by 130,000 for the library property purchase.
oh, is that what that's for?
Well, that's why it was changed, because we had to insert that into this budget as well.
Only because we're probably not gonna be able to get the library settled until after this budget. Okay, until this budget's in effect.
Okay, that's why I was wondering what
Did
the
you find
community
it?
projects, no, I didn't find it.
So it's at the very, here's, there you go.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't have that, wasn't in this one. Okay.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? We've gone through it many times,
Yeah.
and this is the time if anybody has any questions.
I just don't need them.
Like I said, the budget has a lot of expenditures, but they're for improvements within the community, and it's money that will come back. It's, we're loaning money to the fire department out of their
Yeah,
millage
that's
will pay
earlier,
that back.
this stuff.
Yeah,
I was just, since I didn't have the list, I didn't know if it was just one project that was for, or if it was for all of it,
now,
so.
okay. And we don't need any action on this because the next thing will be the action. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside. And we'll go on to item number 8, resolution adopting the General Appropriations Act for the fiscal year 2025, 2026. This is the resolution that adopts our budget for the 2025-26 budget year. I think we have discussed everything. So a motion is ordered to move the resolution adopting the General Appropriations Act for the fiscal year 2025-2026.
I'll move the resolution adopting the General Appropriations Act.
Support.
And we have support. We have a motion and support. Does anybody have any questions? Not hearing any, could we have a roll call, please?
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Karen Gardner.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Peterson.
Yes. The resolution is so moved. Okay, we'll go on to item number 9, which is the added thing. This has to do with the tri-party system for the, what we call the gravel road program. It's from the county, and they contacted us, and we needed to move on this because they want to put out their bids for the gravel this year, okay? This is an annual agreement where we pay 1/3 of the county program. The county pays 1/3, the road commission pays 1/3, and the township pays 1/3. Our fee is $18,569 for 2025. And so what I'm looking for is a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement with funds for the 2025-26 budget, 101-446-934-002, so that we can be included in the gravel in this. I think they're gonna try to get these bids out so that we can gravel in the summer and not have to wait till the fall, the rainy season like we have in the past, so.
I'll make that motion. I'll make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement with funds coming from the 2025-26 budget, number 101.446.934.002, the tri-party gravel program for an amount of $18,569.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and we have support. Any questions on that?
It's clearly in the budget. I'll second.
No questions? Could we have roll call on that, please?
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Karen Gardner,
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Peterson.
Yes. And that resolution is, motion. Yep, that is moved. Okay, now we're on public forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak? Have anybody? Hello? 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 I think there was an echo out there. Okay, nobody. The public forum, well then, if nobody wants to speak, then how about Addison Township board reports? Anybody on a board that has something they'd like to add?
SEMCOG is doing a meeting in Pontiac, City of Pontiac, next Tuesday, so I'm going to that. So I wanna, it's close by, it's not Detroit. And I wanna see what they have to say for the area, what they're thinking of, and so
Very good.
I'll be going there. And then Mike is doing the, Noah has one for me on Monday.
Okay, very good. Anybody else?
I appreciate that,
No
Mike.
problem. Anybody else? Nothing else? Okay, how about any legal reports, communications? None. It's just up to the supervisor then for his reports. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to give our condolences to the Sent family. As everybody knows, Eric Sent passed away. Saturday night, I believe it was, he had a heart attack, and he passed away. The funeral is on Friday. He was the chairman of the planning board, he was on the ZBA, he was on the board of review, he was on the fire board. The man was, he just had so much for Addison Township. I'll really, really miss him. He was a very dear friend, and I know he was a dear friend of a lot of people here because we've known him for so many years. I know him personally because I used to have a lot of time with him, and he was from Germany. He was born in Germany during World War II. He had a twin brother who passed away in Germany. He didn't come over here until he was, I believe, 16 years old. And he was educated at Lawrence Tech, and he worked for General Motors. And when he came over here, he became a rodeo man. He used to ride Rama bulls and rope. And here's a guy from Germany who came over and became a cowboy. And he met his wife, I know Faye. I was at the 50th wedding anniversary recently. And he met his wife at a horse camp on the west side of Michigan back in 1974 or whatever. But anyways, I just wanted to give you a little personal touch of how much he meant to all of us. And we will dearly, dearly miss him. And he has a daughter who's flying in. She'll be in tomorrow from California, Christina, and his son Eric lives in the area. So. And I want to give our dearest condolences to Faye, his wife. And like I said, the funeral will be on Friday, and a lot of us will be there. So, on another note, the road commission, I just want to say that I've been on the phone with Jason, our foreman, and Jason has been doing an excellent job on the roads. I know it's been terrible, terrible weather, but if you go on the back roads and everything, you can see that they're all cleared and you can get through. And some of the citizens have been sending me emails, and I've been sending them messages back saying that we actually have a foreman and a superintendent who actually take pride in their jobs. So they've been doing a great job. I just wanted to let them know that. And I would like to say, we haven't had any power outages, and our neighboring communities have. And so I just want to give kudos to DTE for doing all of the work that we asked. Mike McDonald and I went there, and we had that conference several years ago, and apparently it's paying off because we have a lot of upgrades, and we've been doing pretty good on the outages. I just wanted to say also, we'll be starting, we're going to reach out to for the spring cleanup for the same vendor because nobody else wants to do it. So we're going to see if we can extend the contract for the spring cleanup, which is a Saturday before Mother's Day. It's a great thing that we get rid of them. And you can see the streets. If you remember 20 years ago what the streets of Addison Township looked like, how many dead couches we had on the side of the road, or how many mattresses or whatever, we've pretty much got them all cleaned up now, and we'd like to clean them up every year, so. And then, applications for the building official are ending next week, and then I'll begin the interview process, and I'll report back to the board when we get all the rest of them in, okay? But other than that, that's all I have to say, and I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Also move.
Support.
Then I thought I wanted to stay. So we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Next meeting, March 18th.